Hello, Floss Tube friends. It is Tuesday, June 11th, and I'm Monica with Peaceful Times. I'm glad you're back. If you are returning, and if you're new here, welcome. I am back from Stitch Con Weekend A, and it was an amazing time. I'm so glad I went. I met a ton of people and just had the best time. So I will do a recap and hopefully I'll put in a little like slideshow of pictures at the end of this, maybe with some music or something, so that you can see kind of some of the things that I talk about. But if you're just here for the stitching part of it and don't care about StitchCon, then I'll put that at the end. So we'll get started. As far as some finished ones that I did, I finished the scarecrow that I had made, and let me see, I have the chart of it here. Looks like this. This was the scarecrow that I finished. I ended up putting it on a paddle board or a charcuterie board, like a small board that had a star on it for Memorial Day or 4th of July. But it covered it, this part, and then I did a yellow, not yellow, an orange secondary piece that went around this and matted it to that board and gave it away with some ribbon on the top of it as my smalls exchange at StitchCon. So I will get a picture of it. Let me see if I can do that. Hold on one sec. Okay, I'm back. I found a picture of it that I took before I left for StitchCon, and it's sort of washed out here. It looks very yellowy, which it had a lot of color to it, so I don't know. But that was my finish, and that's what I gave away along with some other things in a bag for my smalls exchange. Then I also had another completed one, which is probably at the bottom here. Let's see. Yep. So I had a chart, and I don't know if I showed the chart previously. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Hold on a second. I'm back once again. All right, so this is the chart. It's Priscilla's pocket. And there's a couple on here, Freedom, Patriot basket, and Liberty. So this is one of the ones that I got out when I visited the attic. It was one of the ones that my family helped pick out. And this was my finish. This is stitched on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. It's the one I'm also stitching at home on. But I think I've showed that before. So that was my finish. I just need to get it fully finished now. So that's something I'll work on now that I'm home. So I got done with school right before we got done. The kids got done with school the Friday before we had half day with the kids before Memorial Day. And then we go back. We had Memorial Day off on Monday. And then we went back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then had Friday off. So then I had Friday and the weekend, and we were doing stuff. We were gone quite a bit. We were trying to figure out car situations. It was awful. My transmission died on, I had a little Ford Escape. It was about 5 years old, and the transmission went out on it. So I was driving my husband's truck, and then it was having issues. So he had to replace a couple fuel injectors on his truck. And so then we had to go find something else. Plus, my daughter had turned 16, gotten her license, and so she too was in need of a car to drive. So we were just trying to figure out, like, is it better to get her car and I would keep mine, or is it better to upgrade my car and just give her my old one? So anyway, in the process of all that, I had about a couple days and then left Thursday morning right away to head out to go to Stitch Con, because that was a good 5-hour drive plus, closer to 6 hours depending on which way you went, 5 to 6 hours, and depending on traffic. There's a lot of course, construction in Illinois. So I went one way down south through Illinois and then over, and then on the way back I just kind of angled it back up over Chicago and then back out. But Chicago traffic's never fun to deal with either, even on a Sunday. So then you have all the northern traffic coming in from Wisconsin that merges and creates all sorts of fun stuff. So anyway, that was about all I had done previously because the end of school is so hectic. But at Stitch Con, I did have a finish. Oh, it's way under here, sorry. So this was also something I had gotten at the attic at one point, I think, when I went out there by the Scarlett house, the Christmas alphabet. I had shown you previously the autumn alphabet because I finished that one. And so I got this one done to ring the bell, sort of. Now I did ring the bell, and it is done, and it is cute. But the yellow, this is the only yellow I had with me. I didn't have the right yellow. It's supposed to be this yellow. Quite a difference. So I think I'm going to go back and change it to this yellow. I do like the brightness of this yellow for the treetops. I don't really like it for the beak, for the bird beak, but I think it just goes more naturally with the darker fabric. And this is done on 40 count dark cobblestone. It's a Zweigart linen. So I think I need to go back and kind of fix that one. So then I worked on hands-on design Memorial Day. The last time I showed this, I had the words finished on it. So I did a little bit more. So this calls for, I believe it's 32 count, so I think I'm doing it on 16 count Ada, because that's what I had around here. Yeah, it calls for 32 count antique white. So I would be doing it on the 16 count Ada that I got from either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And it also calls for the sulky threads, like the petites, I think is what the name of those are. And they look like this. So this is the yellow I had with me, on top of the fact that it's like 2 threads. And so I'm using 2 threads on, which I'm not, I'm using 1, but it's the thickness of 2 threads on 40 count. So it kind of really gives it a weird texture to it. All right. The next thing I worked on was, I was telling you guys last time about Lantern Lane. I love this one. It's Little House Needleworks. I was struggling with the white as the snow because the called for was not bright enough on the fabric that I chose. So now I've changed it out and I like it. You can actually see it versus what's around the door at the top. The white at the bottom is definitely better. So I am going to stick with that, and I'll keep going on that one now. You can see the difference in the white versus what's fawn, but it also had bamboo, and I changed out for the eggshell. You can see where I picked it all out. So I like the bamboo over the eggshell that it called for better. You never know. Now then, I also worked on so Whipco calls. Whipco for May was Looks Like Christmas with by Shannon Christine. I didn't work on that one at all. Also At Home, and I'm doing it over one, and I didn't feel like working on that either, so I haven't done that. I do look forward to getting that chunk done, that over one that is the wording. And then Spring Quaker, because they had the 3 calls this time, since it included 13, which is the center and can be a free spot. I did work on Spring Quaker by Lila Studios. Oh, I also found the perfect frame for this. So you know how people get them made up and then they don't want them anymore? So for $8, I remember looking at this frame at Michael's out where I work and thinking, who would buy that frame? Because it's all knotty, and I came home and picked this up and was like, oh, I have to go back and get that frame. I think it's the right size, and it's totally going to be perfect for this. So I have that exact frame now for this for $8. So when I'm done, I'll frame it myself. I think the last time I worked on it, I had gotten like a page done. So I was trying to get that done. Well, I filled in the heart and the bee and the snowflakes, and maybe some of the letters. And then I finished, well, I think this was probably finished off. I probably finished the center, although I still have one chunk there to do on that part. But then I came over here and I started the words, and I finished this page here, maybe filled in this one whole thing, I don't know, and then did this, and then did all of this one. So I did quite a bit when I worked on it. So this is one of those that almost every month, in order to keep going on it, it's a stitch along that I started with one of the other floss tubers, and the stitch along is just hashtag Spring Quaker. I can't remember who it was that's doing it. Okay, so I found her. It is Samantha Roberts, the Huga Stitcher. So she's the one that I was doing the stitch along with. All right, so the next thing is the Seeking Refuge. I started working on this again. I pulled this out. I've had this one for quite a while. I think I started it back during the pandemic. If you didn't have a chance to read it, it says, "When the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread the angst and anxiety no longer I dread. And I just like that in general. I live out in the country. I love working in a, you know, bigger city area, but then being able to come home and enjoy my gravel road that I live on. So that's all the further I've gotten. And this actually has to be picked out and moved over. And I will say that is one thing that I absolutely hate to do. I don't have to do it very often, but during StitchCon, I felt like all I did is make mistakes and have to rip it out and re-put it in. So the fact that I got anything done is nothing short of a miracle. The last thing I worked on during StitchCon was this one. This is Fruits of Plenty, the Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's beautiful. Jacob did an awesome job designing this one. He does an awesome job of designing all of them, but this one I fell in love with in particular. So I started this basket and realized it was not in the right spot, so I had to tear out the basket and redo it, just the top part. And then I've now been able to start filling the berries in, the balls, the whatever they are. I'm assuming they're berries because there's a bird that goes in on the top of them. And then one of the things I've been working on at home, I just got it out the other day to do again because I love this one and just want to, I love doing WIPGO, but sometimes I just need like a week on this and a week on this and a week on this or a few days on this. And I do finish things. It's not like I don't have finishes all the time, but so this is on Prudence, and it says, "What's in thy mind let no one know, nor to thy friends thy secrets show. For if thy friends should prove thy foe, then all the world thy secrets know." So it's a Plum Street, and of course I love those. So one of the things that I got, which is about the only thing that I've received recently in the mail, I just really haven't gotten much. I was working on getting things to take to StitchCon for my table mates and whatnot, little projects, and I'll show you that at the end here too. But I had my newest Farmer's Attic Fabric of the Month Club, which is using Atomic Ranch, and this is Mellow Stone, and it's reading very true to color. It's just a very mellow, like bone color or stone color, a perfect neutral to use in a lot of things. The one that I got before, and I don't remember if this one came with anything. I guess there was a pattern that it came with. I don't know what I did with that. If I put it in with my patterns already or what. But it had a neat, like small pattern to do. And this is Golden Harvest. Not sure if I showed this last time or not, but it too is reading true to color. So these are great neutrals to have in your stash. And then I also had ordered, and I don't know if I showed this before or not, but this is a 36 count. Both of those are 36 count too. 36 count corn silk linen by Weeks Dye Works. This is more yellow than it's showing to be true to color. This is showing more tan or brown on there, but it is a much more yellowish, yellow green almost, actually, more of like the silks, So yeah, that's really all I've worked on. What I do want to work on is Carol the Saltbox Stitcher had offered up a couple weeks ago, probably a month ago now, if I'm being honest, a freebie that she had found, and I would like to start that one as well. she was using it for one of their gatherings, their get-togethers. And it's from Samplers and Santas from 2017. Just a 1776 flag. Since my last one was the Freedom 1776 or 76, I thought I would do this as a pillow to go with it. So I'll probably frame this and then maybe make a pillow out of this, or vice versa. We'll see. I don't think I'm going to use the same threads, and I think I want it darker. So I actually might use this dark cobblestone to put it on. We'll see, or something in between. Because I think I want it more antique-y looking. So that's really it with all of the cross stitch stuff that I've got. As far as June goes, there are the two that got called were Christmas Moose and the goat that I've been working on. So I definitely want to pull the goat out and work on that some more. I have one page done. I'd like to get a couple more pages done. I'm doing that on 18 count Ada. I don't know that I'll work on the Christmas Moose. We'll see. I'd like to get past a certain part of it. I started in the center, really focused in on the center part of the nose, and would like to, get past that because it's a lot of, like, I'll say confetti stitching. It's not, it's all right there, but there's 1,000 different colors right on top of each other. So, so I'll be working on the 1776, some of these other ones that I have already been working on, like on Prudence and Refuge. I'll do those two. And then some of my own stuff that I'm doing and this will be the kind of into Stitch Con and how things went with that. The gift that I gave to my table mates was everybody got one of these zipper pouches, so you can put a project in there if you wanted to, like if they bought something and wanted to have a bag for it, they could. And then I gave them a package of tapestry needles from Lori Holt, and they got one of these patterns that I've designed. So there's the Merry and Bright, the Peaceful Times Pumpkin Kisses, or the Scarecrow. So all of those were possibilities that they got along with this, and then I made little needle minders for them. And I tried to make sure that they were nice and heavy needle minders so that, anything would stick to them. I'll go into the gifts that we got from everybody. I'm going to start with my smalls exchange. So I showed you what I gave with the Scarecrow, and then I received this one. It was in cute packaging. It was I think a red bag with a bright blue bow to it, so I figured it was 4th of July. And this is adorable. She did a great job on it. I do have a picture of us together on, like at the end, that I'll try and put in there in the slideshow. The other thing with this, she also gave me a bag, and it's such a gorgeous bag. It's a perfect red, white, and blue bag, and it's a beautiful zipper on it. This is the inside fabric that's like says summer and s'mores and barbecue and fire up the grill, and it's got little watermelon. It's adorable. I mean, it was perfect. So, and I don't, you know me, I don't have, this is only my second real bag besides these bags that I bought, for myself. So this is only the second other bag. So that was perfect. I couldn't have been happier. So thrilled to have such a nice gift. And then like our table mates gave us gifts. Sitting at our table to begin with was this cute little jar. Of course, it has Ohio on it, and it's got the heart by Cincinnati, which is where this takes place. So that was super fun. And we were given a big bag. So let me show you. This year's bag is solid black with the red Stitch Con on the bottom. And it's a very nice bag, a very nice quilted, thick bag. I think the ones last year that were kind of like felt, I think were probably not great. But you can see it's pretty wide, pretty good sized. Inside, they gave us the newest edition of the Just Stitch magazine, which was cool because I don't subscribe to that, so that was nice to have. And then at the table we had these, and then they also gave us these little Stitch Con keepsakes cross stitch Cincinnati, Ohio notepads with a pen. The pen is Stitch Con keepsakes cross stitch Cincinnati, Ohio. So those were in there as well. And then just different things that you would need, like your book, your itinerary was in there. If you wanted to put something on hold, there was a little slip in there for that. If you were doing the smalls exchange, you received a chip and things for that to know which time you did that. And then people came around, or people at your table gave you gifts. So I'm just going to go through some of the gifts that I received. So this one was at my table as well. It's got a cute tomato charm on it. And inside, this is, I believe, from Carol, is 930 floss, which of course, who wouldn't use this on anything, everything. And then a whole bunch of charms that are 2024 charms. And so I was like, oh, that's awesome. So then these I can attach to like some of the little pillows and different things that I finish. So that was wonderful, in a cute little jar. And then when we went to dinner one night, we went to a Mexican restaurant. It was really good. And somebody had passed out through part of the stitching zoomies. So I found somebody online. Once you sign up for StitchCon, then you are allowed into the Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, you can talk to people and find out who's coming and ask a bunch of questions. And one of the people was looking for a roommate. So I reached out to her, and we figured out that we would be able to room together. She was there Thursday and Friday night. Then they left Saturday night before the night was over. So then I had the room Saturday night to myself. But we stayed in the live-in, and it was quite the experience. It wasn't a great experience, but it wasn't bad either. We were fortunate. Our room was fairly clean. Some other people's was not clean at all. And somebody found a cockroach. I think there were bugs in some of the hotels around as well. But anyway, my roommate was coming because her best friend from high school or from college that she had met, they were in each other's weddings and have stayed good friends ever since, had signed up to come and got in right away. And she was staying with one of the ladies that she met the year before. And a bunch of them are a part of this group called the Stitching Zoomies. So this is, they've made some buttons up. So that's one of the buttons. They had some shirts made up as well. And then a bunch of the Stitching Zoomies are actually in the group that I'm a part of, which is Land of Lincoln Stitchers. So these guys adopted me and allowed me to join their group as well. And then at night when we wanted to stitch late or just hang out, a bunch of them were in our hotel, so it was wonderful, and we were able to have fun chatting and getting to know each other better, and just trying to laugh about what was going on at the hotel, because It was very interesting. So one of the ladies had brought these pens, and you're given the pen. You just pick out the pen that looks like this, and then there's a bunch of charms, beads, balls, spacers, and things that you can put on there. And so I picked mine out and added these, and so now I have a very cool pen. So that was super fun. You get a bunch of floss drops and whatnot. So this is from the Quilting Pot, an adorable. Let me show you. Let me pull it out. These ladies were so nice. So I've got this awesome. It's got the 2024 piece on it, and then it's got a cute little owl at the bottom, and then it says stitch, I stitch. It says I stitch on it, which is super fun. I don't know if you can read that. Maybe if I go this way, you can read it. I stitch. I mean, but what a great, floss tag, to have. And along with that was a threader, a needle threader, which how many of these do we need? Like 10,000 of them. We need one for every bag, right? As our eyes continue to get older. I mean, I know we don't, but our eyes tend to, right? And then this one was from Mary Bewee Needleworks. Bewee Needleworks. So they came around and gave everyone one of these. So it's got the cute little mascara brush, which when you're trying to pick out, it's nice to just be able to quickly take those off of there. And then these are from JBW collection. This is from Judy Whitman. These are gorgeous floss drops. So you've got the little hole in the bottom for your floss and the cute little hanger, and it's just, I don't know if you can see the design on it. Nope, because I've got so much. This is 1801. So much glare there. Happy Stitching. This is from Mary Lang and April Skipper, your stitchy friends. This was adorable. And then lots of floss drops from different people. This is from the Stitchy Pros. Oops. There's a bunch of these. So then you can just punch your own holes in them, whatever size you'd like. These were from Aura, and I think so, yeah. She had made these. She said these are like from her coffee, like in the morning. I'm like, wow, that's gorgeous. The Grateful Needle. You have a cute little pull as well, little citrus pull. And then this is from Jan. And these are like little Tic Tacs. I mean, what a cute little box of Tic Tacs. And then some floss cards. It gives you the project and the fabric. This was super cute. This was showed up one time when I had gotten up. So a ring for your flosses and your floss tag. And these are from the Stitching Zoomies. This was so cute. Who was it that had these made up? P&B Creations, Cross Stitch Tools, Accessories, and Patterns. So these are adorable. Had the Stitching Zoomies on there. And then Sarah's Stitchery. This is from Sarah, starts with an L, her last name. But she was with, it was Stitchy Friends. Her and Jen were together, and now she's just doing it by herself. And so she's Sarah's Stitchery. So these are really, really nice cards to use. And then this was our make and take home from well, I don't know if it's from Keepsakes but it's got a shovel because of course it was kind of like a gardening theme. And then a cute little, well, every which way I want to do it. Doesn't want to get on there. A little shovel, the pretty flower, and then the date. They had different flowers you could pick from, but someone had made up all of these beautiful pins, and so you got to pick out the pin that you would like. So I picked out this one. It's gorgeous. Some different needle minders. So this is from Jamie Santiago. It's very pretty. I was given, this one lady was giving out these adorable little frogs. They were so cute. She had a ton of them, but they're like magnetic, so they just stick right on. I put them on my light, keep them on my light. Oh, Rip It. This is from Jen. She's the main part of our group, but it's got the little frog on it at the bottom. And then this is what you use. It's like a needle that you can just sit there and rip, 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 rip. So it's got a beautiful needle on it. It says rip it, rip it, rip it. And I got a sticker from Sally. Sally made you a sticker. Sally stitches and made a sticker for you. I got a sticker from her. And then I got some beautiful floss drops. This is from Lady Huza Presents. She was there. She was super fun. And these are by Forget Me Not Blackbird Designs. The YouTube. This is also by her as well. Lady Huza Presents. And I love watching her floss tubes. She has a ton of stuff on there. So it was neat to be able to meet her and a bunch of people. It was great. I mean, obviously Pam and Steph were fun to meet, and Sarah was, one of the great ones that I was able to meet and loved. And Liz Matthews was there, so I got to chat with her. Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, she was there. Here's another one. This is Stitch Con 2024, and that is a picture of keepsakes, where all of this stems from. This one is super cute. It says, "Pick me up and I'll help you stuff." And this is from FB Stacy at Oddburham or Codburham. I don't know. Instagram, Stacy B. So I've got a lovely Sour Patch in there, and then one of these skewers that you use to stuff. So you get a really nice ability to stuff. And then someone had came by and had measuring tapes, and this was off of the bag. I've already eaten it, but this was my roommate Linda had given us beautiful flowers that were sugar cookies, and they were amazing. They were so good. And then this was from sorry about the crinkle. This was from Susan, her friend. So we got a journal, a little journal for writing in. This beautiful pair of butterfly scissors. They're absolutely gorgeous. And she made us all a thread catcher, which is super nice. That was super fun. And she made us these charms. Again, a zipper pull or scissor keep. And then this is also a beautiful butterfly that you can use as a needle minder. A thing of gummy bears that are not gummy bears, but they're gummy butterflies. And then a yummy snack of the wafers, the milk hazelnut wafers. Yum, yum, yum. So everybody provided such wonderful gifts and nice things. I'm sure there's more that I didn't even get into, but this was a good chunk of the types of things that we received all day long, which was absolutely lovely. So of course you have the annex to shop and you have keepsakes to shop. So we jumped on the Stitchy bus the first day and went over to keepsakes. And this was really all I purchased. I have a big enough stash and I have to get the stuff done that I've already started. So, but I did get this. This is Plum Street's, This Is the Day. And I've always liked the chart, but then when I saw it at Keepsakes with what they used for fabric, I've just totally fell in love with it. So they actually used Milk Chocolate by X Jude Designs. And so it's a very like, I mean, it's tan, but it's pinky tan. It definitely has a pink tone to it. And then I also bought the specialty threads for it. The, what does Chelsea call them? The fancy floss for it as well. So I'm trying to get them laid out here for you. The DMCs I figured I probably already have or could easily attain back home, but since I was there, I thought I would get, and a bunch of these are ones, grits and hickory sticks are ones that we use, cherry cobbler, you know, you use them all the time and things. So I was like, well, might as well get another set of them anyway. I know I have them in a bunch of these in other projects, but you know, depending on how many you use, it's always good to get the next set. So it's going to be super pretty on there. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. I think we might do a sale for that. Um, I know that Susan Fisher wanted to do it as well. She had started it and didn't really care for the fabric she was using. So she said, hey, I'll start it again with you. So maybe in July we'll get that going. I'll let you know. And then there was a piece of, I don't know what. It's a scrap, but it's a nice long piece of scrap that I could put quite a few ornaments on, if nothing else, or you know, even some of the skinny, longer skinny things that we do would probably fit in there, or some of those, the flags that they're doing now, there's some of those long skinny flags that could be done. It was $3, so I thought it was a good thing to try. It's actually kind of the color that I'd like to do this on, but I'm not sure size-wise if it's big enough. So, but that's something I'll look at, and I might do part of, you know, if that's going to fit on here, I would try that on there. But I think it is like I think it's a week's, you know, just looking at the way it is, the way the fibers are on it. That's my guess. It's funny how you can just tell the way it shifts around. And I'm going to say it's either a 36 or 40 count. So it's my guess. So that's all I have. It was a fantastic time. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly suggest you go for it. I have signed up for another retreat in November with a store up in Wisconsin area. It's lower Wisconsin, northern Illinois area. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm in hopes of doing throughout the summer just a bunch of, at least once a week, trying to get, even if it's not my stitch stuff, maybe it's a finish that I do, or maybe it's some quilting that I'm getting done, or who knows, you know, just being here and just kind of maybe vlog my week. You know, I'm getting up and this is what I'm doing, and you know, maybe you care, maybe you don't care. You know, sometimes it's just fun to have a reality show that you can watch, right? But these Zoomy Stitchers and the Land of Lincoln Stitchers, I'm in hopes of getting together with a couple times, if on Zoom or at another time, to catch up with them, because I'll tell you what, you know, you go to Stitch Con, I think, in hopes of maybe seeing people that you've watched on Floss Tube, and that's really cool and fun. But I'll be honest, the best part of it was the real people that you get to sit next to and talk to at your table, and the groups that you sit with at night and get to talk to. And Lori and I, we went to lunch right before we came home, and we had been staying up late after everybody else went to bed, stitching and talking, and you know because it's just nice to get to know somebody even more, like you all talk superficially, or maybe you all kind of know each other, so you talk about what you know, about each other's work or kids, or husbands, or um, different aspects of their life. But then it's also nice to like get to know somebody just one on one, and you can kind of, you just open up a little bit more. And so, Linda and I, my roommate, I mean, we stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning just talking. And finally we were like, okay, we just have to go to bed. Like we could talk to each other forever. I mean, the friends you meet at these things, I know people say like, oh, you'll come away with 299 friends. Well, I don't think I got a chance to meet everybody, but I'll be honest, sitting there, the people behind me, there was two ladies behind me that were talking, and every once in a while we'd get up and have a chance to, chat with them. And it is really difficult to sit and stitch because your mind is 1,000 different places, and you're ramped up big time. You're totally like, whoo, there's so much to see and so much to do, and I don't want to forget to do this, and I want to make sure I go do that. And then somebody walks by and you're like, oh, and you can hear them, and you're like, I recognize that voice. And you're like, oh, there's Pam, like, okay, that's, yes, I've heard that voice before. So it's really fun, and as though it's iconic to see the people that you've heard before, to meet the people you've never met before, and how wonderful they are was amazing. It just, honestly, it blew me away. So people always talk about the cross stitch group and how wonderful they are, and I know there's fallouts all over the place. I mean, I heard about that too, with different, floss tube groups, different designing groups, different friend groups, but it's okay, like we're people, things happen, but for the most part, wonderful. I can't tell you enough, like, oh my gosh, like I was literally blown away. Not that I expected anything not great, but it was even better than I expected. So those of you that I got to meet and speak to and talk to and hang out with, I love you, and I hope to see you again. And thank you for making my first time at a stitching retreat at all absolutely beyond my expectations, and very, very memorable. All right, have a wonderful week. Enjoy your summer. Till next time.